Before Eloise was abandoned, over 10,000 people lived inside one place. Not temporarily, they lived there. And many never left.
Eloise was more than a hospital. It was nearly 900 acres in Westland, Michigan. A full hidden world with wards, dorms, tunnels, farms, power plants, and its own cemetery. It functioned like its own city.
It had its own postal code, fire department, police force, railroad access, and even built its own lake when local wells ran dry. It stopped feeling like a hospital and started feeling like something else.
And while it began as a place of innovation, early x-rays, psychiatric care, music therapy, that hope didn't last.
Over time came overcrowding, neglect, and suffering. Restraints, sedation, locked wards, experimental treatments. Thousands were buried nearby, many in unmarked graves.
And for many, Eloise became that last place they were ever seen and remembered.
And even after demolition, the stories never stopped.
People still report footsteps, whispers, screams, and being touched by something they can't see.
You would not handle that well.
I would not. I would be in the parking lot calling 911.
This is the story of Eloise. Welcome to Crimes, Curses, and Legends.
True crime with a haunting twist. I'm Angie.
And I'm Jess, and tonight we're going inside one of the most infamous psychiatric institutions in America, Eloise Asylum.
Yeah, and infamous is putting it lightly. This place has a history so massive and so tragic that people still swear it's haunted.
And the deeper we got into it, the worse it kept getting.
Like, seriously, it's like, oh, a historic hospital. And then 5 minutes later, you're reading about overcrowding, mass burials, shadow figures, and people hearing voices in empty buildings.
The creepy part is, all of that is real history. This isn't just a ghost story.
And real people live there.
Real people suffered there.
And according to some visitors, some of them never really left. So Eloise actually started back in 1839. And fun fact, it wasn't even an asylum at first.
Yeah, it started as a poorhouse, which honestly already sets the tone.
Right? Like, not exactly happy beginning, nor happy ending.
Basically, it was a place for people who had nowhere else to go. Elderly, disabled, people in poverty. Anyone society didn't really have a system for yet.
And at the same time, it was kind of meant to be compassionate, like a safety net before there were real social services.
But the problem is the net filled up really fast.
Very fast.
So fast it basically turned into a catch-all for anyone who didn't fit into society.
Which is always where these stories start getting complicated.
Exactly. If you were poor, sick, mentally ill, or even just had a family that couldn't care for you anymore, you could end up there.
And over time, it just kept growing.
And growing and growing until it wasn't just a facility anymore, it was a whole complex.
Like a full-on, self-contained world.
And when we say big, we're talking huge. This was one of the largest public healthcare facilities in the U.S. About 900 acres.
That's insane to me. Like, that's not a hospital. That's a small city.
Honestly, yeah. It had wards, tuberculosis units, dorms, farms, tunnels, bakeries, kitchens, laundries, power plants.
Wait, stop. Farms and tunnels? That's giving you we'll never leave this place energy.
Right? And there was even a general hospital that treated the public.
So people live there, work there, and died there.
Some employees spent their entire careers on the property without ever leaving.
That's kind of eerie when you say it like that.
It really is. It's basically functioned like its own town.
A very unsettling town.
It had its own postal code, railroad access, police and fire departments.
Of course it did.
And when local wells dried up, they literally built their own lake just to supply water.
Okay, that detail is where it starts feeling like a movie set.
Yeah, like at some point you stop thinking hospital and start thinking, what is this place?
And what makes it even more interesting is it wasn't always viewed negatively.
Right, for a while, this place was actually considered pretty progressive.
Which surprises people when they hear that.
It was one of the first places using X-ray technology, which was huge at the time.
And then They were also experimenting with things like music therapy and newer psychiatric treatments.
So there was real innovation happening there, real effort.
Yeah, and it wasn't just darkness from the start.
But that's what makes it so complicated.
Because then the other side shows up.
Exactly. Overcrowding, understaffing, isolation, suffering.
Right. And the more it grew, the harder it was to maintain any kind of care.
So you ended up in this place that wasn't built to be cruel,
but still became really tragic over time.
And somehow that's what makes it even heavier.
Yeah, because it feels like something that just slowly fell apart under its own weight.
And when a place holds that much history and that much pain,
it's not surprising people start saying it never really left.
So as Eloise kept expanding, more and more patients were brought in, and eventually the whole system just started collapsing under its own weight.
Yeah, because at some point, bigger doesn't mean better, and it just means overwhelmed.
It got to a point where there were more than 10,000 people living and working there.
10,000, Jess. 10,000. That's wild. That's not a hospital anymore. That's a full city behind locked doors.
And the part that's hard to wrap your head around is not everyone there was considered mentally ill today.
Right. And some people were seriously struggling with psychiatric conditions.
The others were there for way more complicated reasons, such as poverty, homelessness, disability, addiction,
or just being seen as inconvenient.
Women labeled with things like hysteria, people with developmental disabilities, even family members who were just sent away. No one else knew what to do with them.
And once you were inside, there wasn't always a clear way out.
Exactly. For some people, Eloise basically became disappearing from society.
That part is so heavy.
And all of this was happening during a time when psychiatric medicine was still really experimental.
Like, they were still trying to figure it out, but the methods weren't exactly gentle.
There are reports of restraints, heavy sedation, isolation, electroshock therapy.
And even those were considered normal at the time.
It doesn't make them any less disturbing.
No, especially when you hear what conditions were actually like inside.
Overcrowded wards, understaffed units, people packed into buildings way beyond capacity.
And that changes everything because even good intentions can't keep up with that scale.
Just imagine it. Thousands of people, constant noise, crying, door slamming, machines running.
Yeah, even without anything paranormal, that already feels haunted.
Honestly, you don't even need ghosts with this one.
The history does it all on its own.
One of the most unsettling parts of Eloise is its cemetery, often called Potter's Field.
And this is the part that really sticks with people.
Yeah, in the 1980s, records showed over 7,000 graves on the property.
7,000.
Patients, paupers, people with no family, people the outside world basically forgot.
And the cemetery was meant for residents who had no next of kin or no money for burial elsewhere.
But a lot of the graves weren't even marked with names.
Just numbers.
Yeah, small concrete markers with numbers stamped into them. No names, no stories, just numbers.
That part is honestly the hardest thing about it.
Because it feels like even after death, their identity just got erased.
Imagine spending years there, dying there, and that's what's left of you.
Just a number in a field.
That gave me chills the first time I read that.
And it changes how you hear ghost stories too.
Yeah, it stops feeling like entertainment.
It starts feeling like echoes of real people.
And that's the thing about Eloise. It's heavy.
Not just because of what people say happens there,
but because of what actually did. Today, most of Eloise is gone, and a lot of the original buildings were demolished, parts of the property were abandoned, and whole sections were slowly disappeared over time.
But somehow the stories never disappeared with them.
Which honestly makes it even creepier. Usually when a place gets torn down, the legends kind of fade away too.
Yeah, but with Eloise, the paranormal stories only got bigger.
Visitors, former employees, urban explorers, paranormal investigators, they all describe the place the same way.
Heavy.
Like the second you walk in, the atmosphere changes.
People talk about feeling like watched, like someone's standing behind them, even when the building's completely empty.
And then there are the sounds.
Footsteps in the hallways, door slamming, whispers, screams.
No, thank you.
And investigators say some of those noises come from the areas that are sealed off or abandoned.
Which is exactly where I stop investigating. The second I hear footsteps in an abandoned asylum, I'm done.
You don't want to stay and meet the ghost?
I don't even want to make contact with the ghost.
That's fair.
But the stories get way worse than noises.
Yeah, people have reported sudden cold spots, feeling touched, or something brushing past them when nobody else was around.
That's awful. And then you get into the stories where people claim that they were shoved, grabbed, even pinned against walls.
Can you imagine that?
No.
Some investigators even said they felt pressure around their throat, like they were being choked.
Absolutely not. I would retire from ghost hunting immediately.
One investigator claimed they suddenly couldn't breathe while exploring one of the abandoned wings, and the feeling stopped as soon as they left the area.
Nope. My soul would leave my body right there.
And another visitor said they heard someone whisper directly in their ear while they were completely alone.
Oh, I would hit Olympic sprint speeds getting out of that building.
One of the most common stories connected to Eloise involves shadow figures.
People describe seeing dark silhouettes standing at the ends of hallways, watching from empty rooms, or moving across doorways before disappearing.
And apparently it happens so often that some investigators consider it one of the main hauntings tied to this property, which, whenever I was researching this, I found this often. There would be a dark figure going over the ceiling and turning corners, and it happens all the time.
That sounds awful to me. But honestly, the child-related stories might be the creepiest part.
Visitors claim they've heard children laughing in empty buildings, tiny footsteps running down hallways, balls bouncing in abandoned rooms.
And children laughing in an abandoned asylum at 2 a.m. is the kind of thing horror movies are built on.
And it feels even sadder when you remember that children actually lived at Eloise at different points in its history.
That makes me so sad.
It really is sad.
Which makes some of these stories feel less like spooky legends and more like leftover grief.
Of course, skeptics say abandoned buildings naturally create creepy experiences.
Which is fair. Old buildings make weird noises.
Pipes hiss, floors creak, your brain starts filling in the blanks.
And abandoned hospitals are already terrifying without ghosts.
But even skeptics admit there's something uniquely unsettling about Eloise.
Maybe it's the history.
Maybe it's the scale of suffering tied to the place.
Or maybe
it's something else. Today, most of Eloise's original buildings are gone. Large parts of the property were demolished years ago, but somehow the place never really disappeared from public memory.
And now part of the property has actually been turned into a haunted attraction.
Which is kind of fucked up.
Yeah.
It's kind of fucked up.
It is. Because this isn't some made up haunted house. It's tied to a real institution where thousands of people lived, suffered, and died.
And somehow humanity looked at that history and said, you know what? This needs some fog machines.
And chainsaws, apparently.
People literally pay money to get emotionally traumatized for fun.
And honestly, I'd probably still go.
Oh, absolutely. You'd scream the whole time, but you'd still buy the ticket.
That is correct. I'm terrified, but I'm also nosy.
Which is exactly how horror movies start.
The attraction really leans into Eloise's reputation too. Hospital corridors, actors dressed like patients and doctors, medical imaginary, paranormal themes.
But according to some employees and investigators, the weird experiences don't always stop when the attraction closes.
And that's where I would personally quit my job.
Workers have reported motion detectors going off in empty hallways, footsteps in closed sections of the building,
voices coming from rooms where nobody's supposed to be.
And one thing people constantly describe is the feeling of you're never alone.
See, overnight shifts there would destroy me mentally. Every creak, every flickering light, every random shadow, I'd convince myself I was haunted immediately.
You wouldn't survive one shift.
I wouldn't survive orientation. The second someone says, "Oh yeah, the hallway's haunted," I'm back in my car.
But underneath all the haunted attraction stuff, there's still something really sad about Eloise.
Because behind every ghost story, there's real history.
Real people, real suffering, and a place that left a mark on everyone connected to it.
Psychiatric care at Eloise officially ended in 1979, and over the years, the institution slowly shut down piece by piece.
The General Hospital closed in 1984. The buildings emptied, the halls went silent, and eventually most of the property was demolished.
But even after the people were gone, the stories never stopped.
People still report footsteps in abandoned hallways, voices from locked rooms, and screams where nobody should be.
And investigators keep going back, convinced something still lingers there.
Maybe it's just the history.
Maybe it's the emotional weight the place carries.
Or maybe...
some places don't let go of pain so easily.
So the question is, are the hauntings of Eloise just echoes of history, or did something inside those halls never leave? If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to follow the show, leave a review, and share it with someone who loves true crime.
With a haunting twist.
And if there's a haunted location, urban legend, or true crime case you want us to cover next,
send it our way. Honestly, the darker the history, the faster Jess clicks on it.
Which is so true.
We love being emotionally haunted for research purposes.
So until next time,
and remember, some places don't forget.